Well, good deal. Welcome, everyone, to our December state call and our last call for 2018. We've got a lot to cover tonight, so I want to go ahead and get started. Let's go like we normally do, and we'll cover the agenda. We'll go through our vision statement, aspirational goals like we normally do, but then we're going to introduce to you the goals that we have set for 2019, and we're going to touch on the strategies that we've identified that we need to do to accomplish those goals. So we'll talk more about that when we get to that point in the call tonight. But just want to let you know that that's coming. We'll touch on education and training again, grassroots, and we'll look at our tracking updates. Got some big news for you tonight, so really anxious to give that news to you. So then we'll get into legislating with Paul, comms team with Ken. We'll go around the horn, and I got a few miscellaneous items to pass on to you. So let's then get started. Our vision statement is still the same and will remain the same going into next year, and that is our vision is to build a Hoosier grassroots community of citizens and legislators dedicated to the constitutional concept of self-governance. All right, aspirational goals remain the same. Organize and restore representative government as defined in our written constitution. Restore a culture of self-governance in America and inspire political and spiritual awakening based on the founding of our country. All right, let's get into then the mission goals for 2019. Okay, these are goals that if we achieve these, we take a step further toward realizing our vision. Number one, to meet quarterly and present the 34 Ready Plan to all targeted legislators. And we're going to get into this a little bit more here pretty soon, so just bear with us. Meet quarterly and present the 34 Ready Plan to all targeted legislators. Second mission goal, grow the grassroots to 40,000 petition signers. If you remember, our goal for 2018 was to get to 30,000. We want to go for 40,000 in 2019. Number three, establish 7 region captains. This is very, very critical. We've identified that it's imperative that we get region captains appointed and put in place. The region captains are going to play a critical role in what we accomplish in 2019. And our fourth goal has to do with Maya, create 4 Young Americans for COS high school chapters. And we'll talk about that a little bit more as we go on here. But we want to set as a goal for 2019 creating these chapters in 4 high schools, or I should say 4 high school chapters. Okay. All right. Now, I'm calling these strategies. They can be objectives, whatever term you want to use. But these are, we're going to call them strategies. These are things that if we accomplish these things, these strategies, then we will accomplish our mission goals, which will take us closer to realizing our vision. So, And I want to tell you now that I'm not going to give any details in the call tonight on these because it would take up a lot of time. But we have identified, in each of these, we've identified a target date that we want to have these completed by and who is going to take ownership to see that these strategies are carried out. And I will be posting that on our Slack general channel. So be looking for these in the very, very near future. But just briefly, I mentioned one of our goals has to do with target legislators. So we're going to develop that target legislator list. We're going to develop then a calling plan on how we're going to carry out the calls regarding the target legislators. We're going to develop that newsletter template, and I'm going to talk about that, or Ken and I will be talking about that a little later on this evening. We're going to expand our social media platform to include Twitter and Instagram. Jerry Rowe has been working on that along with Ken, and I think John's going to be involved in this too. The YouTube channel, we've got some ideas going on that. Ken is going to be reconstructing that channel so that it has a little better appearance and better able to move around it a little bit better than it is right now. COS Indiana Live, I'm going to make some changes, and I'll be talking about that later, but I'm going to change things up going a bit into 2019. Now, as we bring on region captains, we're then going to be transitioning the district captain training to those region captains. Of course, Rachel will be heavily involved in this. But our plan all along was once we had region captains in place, that the region captains would carry the responsibility of training new district captains coming into their region. Then Rachel will be more of a train-the-trainer role, but she will also then have to obviously carry the burden of training district captains in regions where we don't have a region captain. So again, there'll be more coming on that. Region captain training program. We're going to develop that. Paul and I are going to, I think, carry the burden on this. And so you'll be seeing more and more coming out on the development of the region captain training program. Our goal as far as district captains, we want to have district captains in 5 districts per region in 2019. That's the goal that we want to reach by the end of 2019. I'll be talking a little bit more about this when we get into our tracking reports. Now, on the Young Americans for COS program, where we're going to try and develop the 4 high school chapters, we're going to first create what we refer to as a pilot program here in the Fort Wayne area. We'll experiment with develop this pilot program. We want to get the process down so that we understand what we need to do before we then reach out to other high schools and other students in the state. So developing this pilot program will be our first step there. Like I said, I know I haven't given you a lot of details. Anybody have any questions on any of this so far? Okay. All right. Be looking on the general channel in Slack, and you'll soon see the other details that I mentioned about the strategies. All right. Well, this evening I wanted to give Rodney, our region director, an opportunity to say a few words. So, Rodney, I saw you were on the call. You there?
I'm right here.
There you go.
I see me and my wife's picture there. I didn't get my picture updated soon enough because I have a couple of Santa Claus pictures that.
Oh, did
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me to say something, Dale. I was looking here at Dale's strategy and mission. I've kind of been in with him on this all along. And it looks like an Indiana plan. Actually, it's national. If you think about all your friends, all your family, Maya with the Young Americans for Cause, those people in high school are going to graduate. They're going to move on to other places. Many of them will move out of state. So everything you're doing in Indiana is really affecting the nation altogether. And let's say if you went back and listened to a conference call that Dale did about this time the year before, and looked at this one today, you'd see a world of difference in what's happened here with Indiana. And every one of you are responsible for that. The training program has been instrumental in a lot of this. A lot of the states have figured out that we were just throwing people out there and giving them a little bit of information and expecting them to go do it. That's not the case. This is a grassroots organization. We've never done any of this before. And so you got a great support group. All the strategy that Dale was talking about, that was never there before. And it takes a team to develop this and a team to work it. I want to thank every one of you that are on the call and those that couldn't make it to see this later. We've been looking for trying to find the dedicated, passionate people who really want to save this country. And that's all of you that are on this call. It's really tough. Dale can tell you how hard it is out of the millions of people out there that have it in their heart that know this country's going in a bad direction. And thank you all for stepping up to do this. Like I say, in my opinion, the reward for this whole saving the country is saving the country, and we're doing the right thing. But I do want to say we are going to be coming up with, and some of you may already know about this because I heard some of these were given away. We are going to be able to recognize some people. I don't know if you can see this at all. Let's see if we can get it up here. So these are called a Patriot pin. Doesn't show up too well. I have 15 of these. Dale's going to get a bunch of them that he can give out to people that go above and beyond or do great things for Indiana and all their hard work. Look at that with the social media Ken Kashuba's doing, all the work the district captains are doing, the training Rachel's doing, George working endlessly with the follow-up tool, welcoming those people into the organization. It's just amazing how far the Indiana teams come. And there's going to be more to do. I look at that. The one key thing we got hit with was an election in this a couple of months ago. And the key thing there is to make sure you educate those legislators, make sure every one of them are touched, try to win over those that are opposed, educate them on Convention of States, because we're going to have to keep this going for a while until we get all the states passed. There's going to be other ways you're probably going to be able to help in the next year, and we're going to have calls to action where we're probably going to be able to help other states when need arises, where we've got somebody that's being an obstinate in a state and not letting it pass. So the dedication and support, I know many of you have jobs. You got other family things going on. Spending a couple hours on Convention of States whenever you have the spare time and helping out is just awesome. Love every one of you. Some great things coming up in Indiana with that strategy next year. It's going to be a good 2019, and we're going to need all of you because I heard Mark Levin's going to be doing a little bit of emphasis on Convention of States. So we're going to have a lot of people coming to the follow-up tool and the leader management tool. We're going to have applicants for sure. And I believe there's another Sean Hannity or Sean Hannity-like promotion that's going to be happening. So
great.
Yeah, so we're going to have a big family here by this time next year. And thank you all for your support. And I hope you have a Merry Christmas. Take a little bit of time and relax, spend it with family. and we'll see you back in January for hitting it again.
Well, thank you very much, Rodney. Those Patriot pins, that's news to me. I didn't know about that. That is cool.
Yeah.
So we're gonna we'll talk more about that later. But I want to thank Rodney for his involvement in our. Of course, he's involved with us all the time, but especially coming to participate in our strategic planning meetings. You got to understand, Rodney lives in the St. Louis area, so he made that drive to and from Indianapolis to attend our strategy meetings. So I really appreciate that, and appreciate his role, and he certainly helped me a great deal, and I know he really thinks a great deal of our state, so and what we're doing. So I really appreciate that. Thank you very much, Rodney.
You're welcome. I've said it before. Indiana is really taking the lead. They don't get the recognition they do, but with everything you got planned, everything you did this year, and the training and all your powerful stuff.
We're gonna keep doing what we think's right. You gonna hang on for the rest of the call? You gonna be able to stay with us?
I am, and if you ever have a statewide meeting, I will be there for that too. I want to meet everybody.
All righty, great. Thank you very much, Rod. All right, let's get into the education and training area. We're kind of slow right now, and new DCs, new applicants. We did bring on a new district captain, Kenneth Colbert. He lives down in Evansville. We really needed some people down in that area, so he just got approved. He won't be starting his training until after the first of the year. I like to recognize individuals completing Module 2 of the district captain training, and that's Victoria Mooring from District 50 in Region 3. And we had one individual that completed his district captain training, and that's Ron Wiley in District 52. Both of these districts, 50 and 52, are in Region 3, which is Gary's region. Gary is the region captain. We can continue to move along very well in Region 3. So good job, guys. Hopefully we'll be loading this up more and more as we get into 2019. But that's it for right now. Now, I just want to mention Convention of States University. And I can't tell you a whole lot about this right now because I'm not clear on myself, but I understand it's up and going. There are a few courses available. Rodney, are you still on? You got anything that you could say about this, or just that we'll be getting more and more information on it?
I don't remember what all courses they have out there, but they are developing a grassroots course, activist course, and there's another one. I can't remember what it is. They have several courses out there. I hear they're awesome. I haven't taken any myself yet. Make sure you take the legal course, and I suggest all take the DC 100, regardless if you're in that role. If you've been on the team, some of you have been dedicated and on here for a while, it doesn't hurt to go back and refresh on all that, so you know every role. Every role is just important as the other role, and helps out the whole state and country. So,
yeah, at this point, for those of you that are new, Convention of States University was up and running, I guess, until the new system came on, until Citizen Builder was introduced about this time last year, and then it went down, and it's just now coming back on. So I'm not sure how we're going to incorporate this into our district captain training program. We haven't really talked about that as yet, but I'm sure it will, of course, always be a good source for all of us to continue educating ourselves in Article 5 and the Constitution and so on. So you'll be hearing more and more about this and how we're going to use it as time goes on.
Just real quick, if you don't know how to get to it, if you go to your dashboard and you go over to the pop-out menu move your mouse over to the pop-out menu to the left, you can find Convention of States University link there.
Okay, good. So it's easily accessible, and that's good. All right. Let's get into grassroots. Of course, we are still looking to fill various positions in our organization. District captains, events coordinator, coalitions, veterans, videographers, media liaison. So always looking for people that are interested in filling these positions. And like I mentioned, we're still also actively looking for region captains. We've got, last count, we've got 3 district captains that I think will be moving up to region captains here at the first of the year. So if there are any other district captains out there that would be interested in moving up to a region captain, please make your interest known to me. I would appreciate that, and we'll certainly talk further about making that happen. As I mentioned, one of our goals is, well, I'll talk about it on this next slide. One of our goals next year is to create 7 region captains. We have one right now. We have 9 regions, and our goal is we'd love to get all 9 regions filled, obviously, but our immediate goal would be to get to 7 region captains. Here's how we stand right now. We're at the districts colored in red, or with the districts with district captains right now. We have 20 district captains in place. That leaves 80 districts without district captains. Our goal for 2019 is to get 5 district captains in place in each region. So that means we want to go from 20 to about 45 to 50 district captains. Obviously, more would be better. And as you can see, there are not all the regions. There are more district captains to be placed in order to achieve the goal of 5. Region 3 being, let's see, Gary's got 7 district captains in place in Region 3, so he's in good shape. But knowing Gary, he's going to still be recruiting and looking for district captains in those districts without a district captain. So, and as I mentioned, our goal is to get to 7 region captains. We have 1 in place right now. Okay. So, grassroots tracking. If you guys remember, y'all remember, our goal all year long has been to get to 30,000 petition signers in our state. When David Waters and I took over the state from Diane in, I think it was about April of 2017, we had about 15,000 petition signers in this state, and we've gone from 15,000 to 30,000. That has been our goal, and I want to announce to you tonight that we have hit our goal. As of when Tim pulled the report for me, as of December 15th, we were at 30,039. So congratulations, Indiana. We have hit our goal of 30,000 petition signers. Now remember, our goal for 2019 now is to get to 40,000. So that's that's going to be about a 33% increase. But I've mentioned this before. We have, over the past couple years, we've been growing at an annual rate of about 40%. So we think this goal of 40,000 is very much in reach. So thank you all for all your efforts all year long in getting us to this point, and get ready to get into 2019, and let's get to that 40,000 mark. Now, what we're going to do, this number 30,039, this was as of December 15th when I asked Tim to pull the report for our call tonight. We're going to pull it again on December 31st so that we'll all have numbers to start the year with, starting in 2019. So I fully expect that we're going to be well over this number, or at least somewhat. But the important thing is we met the goal, we achieved the goal, and we need to feel good about that. So thank you very much, everyone. All right, let's go on to our legislative segment. And Paul, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All righty. So what you got to say?
Well, I'll go down the list here. Not too much on the podcast front, but we do have two folks who we'd like to report on their legislator meetings. But before we get to Jim and John, I also want to mention that last week I met with a couple of legislators at the Americans for Prosperity's Christmas party. One was Bob Morris. He's representative for District 84, and he voted against us on the resolution, but I'm still working on relationship building with him. We didn't talk much Convention of States, but just get to know him a little better. And then the other was Justin Bush. And Justin won the caucus to serve out Senator Long's term in District 16. And now Justin's an interesting character. I talked with him. He was happy to meet with me, actually gave me his cell phone number so we could schedule a time to meet and talk COS. But he is a district guy for U.S. Senator Todd Young for the Fort Wayne area here. And now he's also state senator. And he told us that that he's still doing that job. That's his job, is working for Senator Young. But he's also going to serve as a state senator. So he's going to be an interesting character. I'm looking forward to meeting with him because with Convention of States, we're going to ask him to support taking power away from his boss. So he's might be a little conflicted there. I'm not sure. So I'm looking forward to a meeting with him.
Okay. All right, great.
Other than that, maybe we can bring Jim on and then John to
yeah.
talk about their legislator meetings.
Jim Janess, you there? He was.
There we go.
There you go, Jim. Yeah, hi. Jim is a district captain in District 35, and Jim, you want to tell us about your experience meeting your legislator and presenting the 34 Ready plan?
Yeah, a couple Saturdays ago, I met with my representative, Melanie Wright, here in District 35. I was a little skeptical to begin with. I spent several days going back and forth with her assistant, playing phone tag and trying to get meetings set up. So I was pleasantly surprised when it actually happened pretty quickly. And actually, the evening before our meeting, Melanie called me back and confirmed it. So we met at a little cafe up here, and she was very attentive, very curious, wanting to know a lot more about it. She had lots of questions, took about a full page of notes about it. And she seemed very happy to get her questions answered too, about some of the things she wanted to know more about. So presented her with the 34 Ready plan. She had an event after our meeting, but she stayed a full hour and talked to me about it and everything. One thing that was interesting, she started wondering after we got talking about it and knowing more, she said, well, I can't remember how I voted on this. She said, I'm sure I had to be a yes on this. So we looked it up, and she was a no. But she also saw a couple of Republican representatives that she knows that were in the no column as well, which surprised her. She said, now, I know these people are pretty conservative and very Second Amendment oriented. She said, I can't imagine why they would have voted no. So she wanted to talk to them and said she'd get back to me. I haven't heard from her, but I told her I suspected maybe they were still kind of under the runaway convention myth, possibly, and I had explained that to her. So, but it was a very good meeting. I was really happy about it.
Well, that's great, Jim, and that's an indication of that these meetings don't have to be in their office. They can be over a cup of coffee somewhere, whatever is convenient for them. So
I think it may be better sometimes with their schedule. She was going to be in Alexandria early that Saturday afternoon anyway.
Okay.
So we kind of met on her way there, so it fit in her schedule well.
Very good. That's good. That's great. That's great. Did she buy the coffee?
I think she did. Now that I think about it, I believe she did. I tried.
Really?
And just real quickly, I want to have a quick thanks to John Ackerman. John's been very helpful and supportive, and I appreciate him staying in touch with me and helping me out, being there.
All right. Good deal. Good deal.
Support.
Well, Jim, thank you very much, and I'm glad you were able to share your experience with everyone today.
Yeah, thank you.
So, very helpful. Thank you very much, Jim. Okay, speaking of John Ackerman, John, are you on with us?
I am here.
There you are. You want to tell us about your experience?
Well, yeah. Just to hitchhike on what Jim just said, he and I both live in Anderson, and we happen to be in different legislative districts because of, I guess, because of gerrymandering.
Yeah.
And I'm not a district captain, but I do have relationships with 4 local legislators, 2 senators, 2 representatives. And so I told Paul that I'd be happy to meet with any of those. And he gave me the go-ahead. And so last week, week ago tomorrow, I met with a newly elected senator. His name is Mike Gaskell, and he will be representing Senate District 26, which is most of Madison County, carve out of Anderson Township. We have a different senator who gets Anderson Township. But Mike is very conservative, and he was a volunteer with Convention of States 3 years ago, and he actually helped us when we were lobbying to get the Convention of States resolution passed.
Oh.
So I knew that this would be a very easy meeting because he's not only a supporter, but he's been a volunteer. Now he's moved on. He's currently a member of the county council, and he's having to step away from that on January 1st in order to become a state senator. So he has other priorities now. But it was a very easy meeting, and of course, he very supportive. And we talked about, he initiated the conversation about amendments that he would like to see. The one at the top of his list, he'd like to see state nullification, not only of congressional action, but of Supreme Court decisions. And that's one of the things that could be on the table under our application. And that would really put the states back in charge of the federal government, if that kind of amendment ever comes up. But it was an easy and fun meeting, and I gave him the 34 Ready literature, and he took it with him, and I wished him well because he's on a whole brand new venture here as a state senator. So that's my report, short and sweet and fun.
Well, I think there's an important point there, John, that here we have an example of a Convention of States volunteer, someone that's somewhat grounded in Convention of States and is now going on to hold state office.
Yes.
So I think that's an important observation here. Obviously, we'd like to see more of that happen. So very good. I'm glad you touched base with him, and glad you had a good experience. Anybody have any questions for Jim or John before we move on?
Hey, Dale, this is Paul.
Yeah, Paul.
The story John is telling about our volunteer now as a state senator, that might warrant an interview and then maybe publishing an article on the state page or the state Facebook page.
Very good point. Very good point. All right. That's a good point. All right. Paul, you got anything else?
Nah, that's about all I got for tonight.
You kind of skipped over your podcast. What's your latest one that you have out now?
I haven't done an episode for a while. I'm working through the research on one, reading a book that I have to finish on legislation through the Supreme Court and how we can prevent that. So
okay.
Maybe over Christmas break here I'll have some time to finish it up.
All righty. All right. Okay, Paul, thank you very much. Thank you. Let's move on. Ken, are you on with us tonight? I think I saw you.
I am here, Dale. I am here.
Can barely hear you, Ken. Barely hear you.
Let me see if I can fix that. Is that any better?
That's a little better. Yeah, that's a little better.
Just a little better?
That's good. There you go.
All right. Want to make sure.
All right.
Hey, Dale, before we get started, I just wanted to go ahead and thank you and the rest of the team really with a congratulations for meeting that goal of exceeding 30,000. So.
Oh, I'll tell you, you're
a late celebration whistle for you.
I bet you're really fun on New Year's Eve, aren't you?
Give me a few toys and I'm ready to roll.
Okay. Well, thank you. Well, how you coming on the Twitter and Instagram? I know Jerry's been. Well, I'll let you talk about that.
Yeah. I touched base with Jerry. I was actually able to get a hold of him today in between him tearing bricks off of his house and doing the blue collar labor that he's been involved in there. I was able to snag some information from Jerry, and we actually were able to get the Twitter information that we now have, and I passed that on to John. I believe John has gotten that, and if not, we'll make sure he gets it. So that we can start with the new Twitter account. As the old one, we're just going to kind of let that one rust away. Jerry and I also talked a little bit about the Instagram, and it's something that's going to take a little bit more investigative work. It doesn't work quite the same as far as the Twitter does, so we're in the midst of working on the Instagram. But right now, the Twitter will go forward. I think we'll be able to kick that off, and John and Jerry can start to fill the Twitter ranks with some information and material there. So I think we're looking good on those areas.
Okay, all right. Well, the next on the list here is the newsletter. Let me jump on to that slide.
Okay.
Hello.
Ken has been assigned this task of finding us a newsletter template for our district captains to use. And Ken, you want to talk about what you've put together here?
Yeah, this is a sample, and as it's turning out to be, it's a sample that we're going to have to kind of use for what I'd like to find to be the actual template. This, as Dale and I investigated a little bit on some of these, I really liked this template that I found. It was something that was very easy to use. Didn't require any software. You could really basically do it, over the web. Unfortunately, they have an area that allows you to use this free of charge if you're a nonprofit, and unfortunately, as Dale informed me, we're not a C3, we're a C4 as a state organization. So they drew the line at a C3, this particular template company. And I really liked it because they allowed you to, we could actually post this directly to Slack at the same time, and it was just really easy to use, and it was open-ended. It was unlimited usage by it could have been anybody in our group that could have used it. So I'm investigating a few others at this point, but this kind of gives you an idea as to the look that we're pursuing. We want this to be able to be used by our regional captains and our district captains and our content writers, other people that could make use of the newsletter. So we have the idea and the design kind of in mind. It's just a matter now of finding the right template that will allow us to email it. And of course, Rodney and we'll have to approve all that going forward. But this is kind of a mock-up and just an idea as to how this might look going forward. So
now this particular template. You're only seeing the first page that's available to you. You have, I think it's 3 pages or so. I don't. Maybe you can.
I had 3 pages. Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of showed the different areas that we. I don't know if you probably can't zoom in there. We just it's not fully populated. It's just the headlines and
right
the areas we might use it for. But
okay.
We're getting there. As Dale has told me, I've got till January 30th, so I'm hoping that sometime shortly after Christmas, I might have the actual template that we're going to use ready to go. So
okay,
I think you've got enough time to get it in place.
All right. Well, let's move on then to COS Indiana Live. That's my broadcast. I've got. I'm going to make some changes based on some suggestions that have been made to me starting in January. We're going to, up to this point, the broadcasts have been basically every other Monday evening. And we're going to go to a weekly broadcast. So we're going to be we're going to be broadcasting every Monday night at 7 o'clock. And my plan is I'm going to be getting more people involved in this, including district captains, and we're going to be we'll be covering this about the same format. We'll be covering basics, and then we'll get into a discussion topic for that particular evening. So you'll be hearing from me more on this. But I wanted to share with you something that Ken created for me. It's a introductory little introductory video, and I want you to, if I can bring it up here, I hope it works here. But I just think it's as cool as can be. Come on, come on, come on. And I don't know if there we go, there we go. I had to double click on it. Okay, come on, come on. But I asked Ken to develop an intro for me, and once I figure out how to do this, now check this out. This is not very long. Isn't that cool? I just think that's cool. You say you want to hear it again? Okay, here, we'll do it again. All right, I won't do it anymore. But what?
But I love it.
I thought that was just as cool as could be. Ken, that is very good work. Thank you very much. Yeah, I just have to figure out a way to get that in the broadcast, and I'm still working on that. But thank you, Ken, very much. Ken, anything else?
Jimmy Kimmel doesn't have a chance, Dale.
Yeah. You know, I just thought after such a terrific introduction like that, and then on comes a bald-headed fat guy, and it might be somewhat of a letdown. I don't know. But anyway, thanks a lot for the work you did on that, Ken. Okay, I wanted to touch on a few other things in the area of self-governance. Gary, you're on with us tonight, right?
I am right here.
You're right there. Well, Gary and some of his district captains are planning another table to be at an upcoming gun and knife show here in Fort Wayne. Gary, you want to comment on what you got planned here?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, there's another gun show January 5th and 6th, and pretty much all the guys around the table there will be working at that gun show.
Look at that.
And I just got notice this afternoon of approval of the expenditure. We don't have the check yet, but it was approved to pay the fee for that. The fee's fairly modest. And last time we were able to make contact with and have discussions with a number of people. We understand the gun show in January will likely be a lot better attended than the one we were in, and I believe it was in November, or maybe it was September. But anyway, this one should be better attended, and I think we'll have maybe a better location around the table as well.
Okay, all right. And you want to introduce the setting around the table here? Somebody needs to mute themselves. I'm getting some real, or I'm going to mute you.
I think this is Bob Glasscock and Lowell Foster, me, and Ed Paraguay.
Right.
The other three guys are all district captains. One says still in training, Lowell. The other two guys have been on for a while. And I think in addition to them, George came down and worked our last gun show.
Yes.
So when we do this, we'll put the word out. Anybody that would like to come and spend some time at the gun show and have a chat and have an opportunity to chat with people about convention estates. Ed is making a frame to hold a second banner, and I'm working on getting a third banner. I'm not sure this is going to be a vertical banner, so it'll be kind of a stand-up thing. I don't know if I'll have it in time for the show in January, But if not, there's another gun and knife show in March that's usually actually the best attended one of the year, and we may be looking at a booth there as well.
Cool. Good job, Gary. Good job. Okay. Anybody have any questions for Gary or anything that we've covered so far? Okay. Well, got just a few miscellaneous items that I wanted to mention to you this evening. As you all know, probably, that we had a call to action test a few weeks ago, where we had to implement our calling tree, and I want to just let everyone know that Indiana fared very well in that test. We did what we were supposed to do. If you recall, after you got word of the test, you were sent a survey, emailed a survey to be completed, and so your completion of the survey was what triggered to national that you had gotten the message. So want to let you know that there is another test being planned, and it's going to occur sometime between January 3rd and January 5th. So and the test is designed to only go down to the district captain level. So that will include all of our support people and the district captains. And we still have our calling tree in place. So Rodney will be contacting me, and then I will contact Paul, and he will contact Gary. And then Paul has a number of district captains to call. Gary will call his district captains. And then I have a number of district captains. So just be aware of that. I assume there will be a survey, I assumed. Rodney, do you have any other details on that we need that we can pass on?
Yeah, it'll be a survey just like last time. I don't know why I'm making a pickling. A survey just like last time, but it'll be a different link unless they figure out how to reset the one. I do want to say that Indiana, they did a reevaluation and tried to, if they did their calculations right, it was they were focused on district captain communication, being able to reach out to all the district captains and then respond. In the 13-state region we have, it's 12 past states in New York, Indiana was number one with 68%.
All right.
Came out on top.
Great. Good, yeah. I didn't know that. Good. Well, okay. Just be aware, another test coming January 3rd to January 5th. Okay. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention to you was this past week had an opportunity to listen to a couple interviews with Professor Robert Nadelson. Now, Professor Nadelson is a well-known expert on Article 5, and he's published a great many articles, and he we have used him in Convention of States ever since I've been involved, and he's just very, very knowledgeable about Article 5. He has a new publication out. It's called The Law of Article 5, and it is available on Amazon. I think the last time I looked, it was like $12.99. Some wasn't very much at all. So I would encourage you to get this. I think this is another one of those publications that we need to, use as part of our library of materials on Convention of States. So I would highly I'm going to be getting a copy myself, so I highly recommend that you get this. All right, let's go around the horn. Just so you know, our call in January will be on January 23rd. We try to do the fourth Wednesday of every month, so that will be January 23rd, 2019. So let's go around the horn here and see if anybody's got anything they would like to say. Gary, how about you?
Go get them, COS.
All right, thanks.
I just want to encourage everybody, to keep on keeping on. It's amazing. I think what we've accomplished at that 30,000 goal is I think indicative of what the potential is out there for us to grow and spread the word.
All right, thanks, Gary. John, you still there? Anything you wanted to add? All right.
Cup of the aromatic spiced Indian tea called masala. This. Krisha?
This chai.
Yes.
Higher education for 200.
Right.
All right, I don't know what that's about. Paul, you got anything more you want to say?
Not right now. Keep up the great work, Dale.
All right, thanks, Paul. Ken?
Merry Christmas, everybody. Just want to wish everybody good holidays and rest up because we got a big year ahead of us.
You betcha. Thanks, Ken. Rodney, you still there?
I am. I just duplicate what Ken said. Well said, Ken. Merry Christmas to everybody. Be safe. Enjoy the holidays. And, yes, we do have a big year coming up because I got a feeling we're going to pass 10 states.
That would be great, wouldn't it? That would be great. All right, Dallas.
No, mostly I'm with everyone else. Merry Christmas to all, and looks like it's going to be an interesting year coming up.
You betcha. Thanks, Dallas. George?
Yes, I'm here. Very blessed and the most merriest of Christmases to all. Happy New Year. And a lot of things have been going on that have been very inspiring, and even things that are coming up. We've got some great people coming in and that have already come in on board, and some new people coming up. And I'm looking forward to next year, man. We're gonna go into a new phase. You know, old Indiana is gonna be way back in the rearview mirror. And right. That's your leadership, Dale. That's my pat on the back. And where's my brownie? That's my spiel for tonight. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thanks, George. Jerry, I got your message. I guess your microphone, is it working now?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Well, must have got it back. Yeah. So, an update. I'm getting a little more active in the COS now that the weather's turning bad, but I'm still out there banging away on the addition and all that, too. So.
Yeah. I know Jerry's been building an addition onto his home, so he's been he's got a lot of stories about that. So
and part of it is Make America Great Again.
Okay.
You can't hardly hire anybody because they're all already busy.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, thanks, Jerry. Mm-hmm. Jim, anything more you want to say? Jim Janess?
No, I don't think so. Nice intro you got there, Dale.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, I like that. Looking forward to seeing what you got going on there. Just Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you have a good season.
All right. Okay, Richard, over in Plymouth, Indiana. You got anything you want to say, Richard? Okay. I'm not hearing you anything. You look unmuted on my end here. All right. We'll move on. Thomas, you there?
No.
Yes, you are. You can't hide, man.
I just, that's what they keep telling me. I just want to thank you for that book. I just added to my reading list with all the Paul's little books he put on the Slack. And I like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and that's about it.
All right. All right. Thanks, Guy. Thank you very much, Thomas. Richard, are you there still? You there yet? All right. All right. Okay. Well, I want to end the call tonight. I want to, on behalf of me and our family here, wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a very happy and safe New Year. And I want to suggest to you that you spend these holidays with your family and loved ones. Take a break from convention estates. It's not going to go anywhere. And spend some time with your family and loved ones. So that's what this season is for. So I want to end our year 2018 again wishing you a very Merry Christmas and a happy and safe New Year. So everyone, good night, and have a very enjoyable holiday season here. So we'll see you in 2019. Good night.
Merry Christmas to all. Thanks, Dale.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thanks.
Good night.